So I'm going to kick off with the story of Esther. A lot of things happened to Esther before she eventually became queen. One of those things was losing her parents at a very young age. But everything that happened to Esther happened for a reason, and it led her to becoming queen. From her birth, becoming an orphan, to being raised by Mordecai. Even what Queen Vashti did all paved way for her to become queen. In the book of Esther, we hear of a man named Haman, and he cooked up a plan to kill all the Jews, all the people of God. God could have made another way to rescue the Jews. He could have actually prevented it altogether if he wanted. But he chose to put Esther in that strategic position for a reason. In Esther chapter 4, verse 14, Mordecai says to her, "And who knows but that you've come to this royal position for such a time as this?" I think we all know how the story ends. God ends up using Esther to bring deliverance to his people. Like Esther, I too was afraid. But I was afraid of pursuing music. And I almost settled for a safe, stable career. It took a heartbreak to steer me back into the right path. And I ended up leading a prayer group back in high school where I made that decision to pursue music. On one of the nights in particular, which I remember so vividly, I was leading a praise and worship song and I had my eyes closed, like most people who lead praise and worship do. And then I felt God say to me, "Open your eyes." So there are very few times that I've actually felt God speaking to me, and this was one of those nights. So I opened my eyes and I noticed these two girls in particular. They were singing their hearts out and they were dancing to the sound of our voices. And the reason why these two girls stood out in particular was because these girls hadn't chosen to be there. But here they were, enjoying God's presence through music. And just then I realized how powerful music is. That night I made the decision to actively pursue music. I mean, who was I not to use the gift God had given me to influence generations for His glory? Maybe you too are here for such a time as this. You've been through what you've been through. You have the gifts that you have, the influence that you have. God put you where you are for a purpose, for a reason.